Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to go through 2.3, which is we're going to be solving inequalities with multiplication and division. Okay, so hopefully we all feel good about 2.2 that we did yesterday, where we're solving just using addition and subtraction. So 2.3 is all about multiplication and division. The reason we split this up into two sections is there's a couple special rules about multiplying and dividing when you're multiplying and dividing both sides by a negative number. Okay, so let's go through positive first, since that one's a little bit easier. Okay, so this is all about making, just like yesterday, equivalent inequalities. So we know, just like when we have equations, in order to get this equivalent inequality, we want to multiply or divide by the same value. Okay, so let's look at this. This is all a lot of ways to say this right here. You want to multiply or divide by the same value. So let's look. I'm going to give us some examples right here. So we're starting off, we're multiplying or dividing by a positive number first. So I've got x divided by 5 is greater than 15. So in order to make this work, I know I'm dividing by 5 right now. So to undo that, I want to go in and multiply each side by 5. Okay, so these 5s cancel out. I get x is greater than 75. There's my final answer. Okay, don't flip the sign. I don't need to do anything else. My solution is x is greater than 75. Right, so I have 2x is less than or equal to negative 16. All right, and problems like this are where a lot of people make mistakes, because we're going to learn in just a second. We have special rules when we have a negative number that we're multiplying or dividing by. So a lot of people will look at this problem and think, oh, negative 16, I need to do that special rule. I need to flip my sign. Not necessarily, because you are multiplying by 2, so you'll divide by 2 to undo it. You're dividing by positive 2, okay? You're not dividing by negative 2, so just because the number you're dividing or multiplying is negative doesn't mean you have to use that special rule, okay? A lot of people get mixed up with that. So my 2's cancel out. I'm just left with x is less than or equal to, and I've got negative 16 divided by positive 2. That leaves me with negative 8. All right, just because I have a negative here or I get a negative answer does not mean I need to flip my sign. All right, so let's go into this special rule that we have about negative numbers. All right, when we multiply or divide by a negative number, then in order to have an equivalent inequality, you have to flip your sign. Okay, this is the rule about inequalities that people always forget. It's always easy to forget this one rule. Okay, in order for these to still be true, let's look at the example that it gives us. Okay, negative 6 is less than 8. We know that's true, right? Negative 6 is less than 8. That makes sense. So when we multiply this by negative 2, we've now flipped our sign, because now we have changed the signs of these numbers. So now we have positive 12 is greater than negative 16. Okay, that's also true. So because our signs get flipped when we multiply or divide by a negative number, we have to also flip the direction of our sign. Okay, if knowing the why doesn't help and just knowing the rule, just always remember, multiply or divide by a negative. Okay, it doesn't matter if the number that you are multiplying or dividing is negative or not. You have to be multiplying or dividing by a negative number. Okay, you're going to flip your sign. And when I say flip your sign, I mean change a greater than into a less than into a greater than, right? These also work if I start with less than or equal to, I change to greater than or equal to. Okay, if I start with greater than or equal to, I change to less than or equal to. Okay, that's never going to get added or removed. You either have it with the equal sign or you don't. That's not going to change. Okay, so let's look at some examples of that. Okay, first off, I've got negative 4x is less than negative 24. All right, I'm multiplying by negative 4, so to undo that, I want to divide by negative 4. So before I do anything else, before I do any of my math, I want to remember I am flipping my sign. So instead of drawing a less than sign, I'm going to go in and draw a greater than sign. If you don't do that first, a lot of times you're going to forget. Okay, so when you see, oh, I'm dividing by a negative number, I'm multiplying by a negative number, first thing I would do would be to flip the sign. All right, my negative 4's cancel out, so I'm left with x is greater than negative 24 divided by negative 4 gives me 6. All right, that's my final answer there. Now let's look at a division problem. So let's say I have, do a different color. Negative 3 is greater than or equal to 2. All right, and you're going to see this different ways. Okay, that's something I want us to keep in mind. X divided by negative 3 is the same thing as negative x divided by 3, which is also the same thing as negative x divided by 3. All those 3 different ways to write that mean exactly the same thing. So no matter which way you see this, you would want to think, okay, I'm going to solve this out the same way. I'm dividing by this negative 3. So in order to undo that, I need to multiply each side by negative 3. Okay, when I see, okay, I'm multiplying or I'm dividing by this negative number, before I do anything else, I need to flip this sign. Okay, it's greater than or equal to, now it's going to be less than or equal to. Okay, so my negative 3's are going to cancel out. I'm left with x, and on this side I have negative 6. Okay, go ahead and get started on your 2.3 assignment. And then don't forget, next time I see you, either on Wednesday or Thursday, we're going to have a quiz on 2.1 through 2.3.